Hello, everyone, and welcome to Problem Solve Her. I am your host, Chloe, along with my brilliant sister,
Dagmar.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to an informative and inspiring podcast empowering women and men, giving you confidence, the strength that you need, independence, and a lot more. Dagmar, tell everyone what we're doing today and tell them how to find us, please, online.
So today our topic is why being nice perhaps is holding you back. And you can find us online on Instagram with the handle ProblemSolvHer without the E after solve, and the same on YouTube, and the same for our website. And let's just get into the topic. So I think that's a huge topic
Girl.
I think that's a huge topic for women and perhaps for men too, that a lot of times we feel we have to be nice, but it's really being too nice. So I thought about different scenarios, and I know you're an amazing storyteller. So what do you think about if an employee is being too nice? What do you think is a story about it, the scenario, why someone would feel they have to be too nice as an employee?
That's such a great question. And I think a lot of people are struggling with it right now, probably at work, especially young people starting out in their first few jobs. When I ran a nonprofit in New York City, as you know, for 7, 8 years, every summer I would have a group of interns. And some of them would come in really tough and really strong. And they would say, I'm going to help you raise all this money. And I go, okay, all right, yeah, we'll see. Not a dollar. Then others would come in a little timid, a little scared. Oh my God, you guys have such big, influences around you in terms of, a lot of celebrities and politicians and, the big hedge fund guys on Wall Street. You have the biggest donors. You go to all these amazing events. How can I go? I want to come. I want to come. And then you'd have the guy or the girl that was so nice that I would say, stop being so nice. You're not going to close any deals being too nice. And I had this one girl specifically, she was darling. She ended up working in the organization and I was the COO. She became the CEO's assistant. She had no experience, but she went to NYU and she was really smart and she studied arts. And I said to her, Paige, if you're listening, I love you always. I said, let me explain to you. The CEO is going away next week for 6 weeks. I'm going to show you the ropes, but you have to follow exactly what I do. And she said, okay. She turned into still being nice, but being stern when she needed to be. When someone would call and ask where the CEO was, they had to get in touch right away. She'd give a little more pushback. She wasn't too nice anymore. Okay. It was, sir, I heard what you said. I will have to get back to you. I will circle back. Thank you for calling. It wasn't nicey anymore, staying on the phone for 20 minutes. We have work to do. Time management's important. So I think that there's a fine line between being nice and being stern and then being too nice, because unfortunately it won't get you too far in business. You're just going to get pushed around.
Yeah. What do you think, and you already scratched it a little bit, what do you think as a business owner? I met women that were really tough, and I met women that were pretty soft, much more than just kind and empathetic, which is beautiful. But they had a hard time setting boundaries. They had a hard time saying no. They had a hard time not being pushed. What's your take on with that, being too nice as the business owner?
Well, I'll say this. I wasn't the business owner, but I ran the organization, and I was the chief of staff as well. When you're in a nonprofit, you have 5 jobs because you can't afford a massive staff. And there were times where I was being a little too nice because they were young and they were interns or it was a new assistant. And I was trying to be a little bit softer because, I can have a strong approach. I have a big personality, in case you didn't know.
I
And,
know.
and I would have to set a boundary because I had an assistant that would call me late hours, would ask. It turned into her asking me to help with her job, and I was like, no. I had a female boss some years back. I was working for a big event production company, and she was 48 and pregnant with twins. And
Good for
because her
her.
hormones, yeah, and because her hormones were all over the place, and she was pregnant, what they call a geriatric pregnancy. 15 years ago that wasn't a big deal. Today, I'm sorry, 15 years ago that was a very big deal to be pregnant at 48. Now it's like no biggie. But her hormones were, so her personality was either super nice, like, I need your help. Can you come in here with this? Chloe, you're going to lead this project. And then it was like the flip side of, you know, the up and down on the roller coaster. So I think it's important for a boss, especially a female boss leading women, to be nice, but also to be stern when needed, run a tight ship, let people respect you, but also let them see that soft side of you and that funny side of you. But they have to respect you in business because more deals will get done, the flow will be better, and the energy will be great within the organization you're working in.
I also hear that you didn't say the word, but I heard that you said consistency is key. So not
Consistency is everything in running a female business. Don't you agree?
yeah.
Men too. Without consistency, it creates chaos. And I think a lot of these, and there are a lot of, big women. See, the problem is women fight to be CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and these big organizations, at Disney, at Coca-Cola, Microsoft. And because they're surrounded by mostly men, sometimes they go either one way, either too soft because they want to be too nice, they don't want to ruffle the feathers, or they're too aggressive and it's like too much of a powerhouse. You have to find that medium, and then that helps create the consistency.
Yeah, makes
Does that
sense.
make sense?
Yeah, totally. You know what I just thought about, and I don't think you have the challenge today, but did you ever have that in the past, or perhaps you experienced that with friends or friends, that the you felt the need, you felt the urge that you have to be very nice, you have to be um, step on eggshells, that
Mm-hmm.
somebody could easily get upset with you, and after a while it became a struggle because then you always have to think about your motions or your action. Did you ever get into the situation where you felt like this, or you experienced friends being too nice?
Absolutely. I want to say that when I was in my, I want to say like mid 20s to later 20s, living in New York City,
Mm-hmm.
and I had started a new job. And in the job, I was meeting a lot of new people. And I felt that because it was a company that I really wanted to grow and succeed in, and it was a lot of females working there, and everyone was a big personality, and everyone was living in Manhattan, and everyone was trying to show themselves up, so to speak. So I was in a position where I didn't really know anyone yet. And so I kind of was, I don't want to say I changed my personality because I'm always going to be true to me. But when you find yourselves in new work situations or even personally in a new friend group, sometimes you're kind of like a little bit more quiet. You're not really yourself. You do have to walk a little on eggshells because you don't know people's personalities yet. You don't want to offend anyone. I can call you tomorrow or, my best friend in New York and be like, girl, listen, I have to tell you, I saw a picture of you on Facebook. Please take it down because it's not your best day. Okay. And if they said that to me, I would be like, okay, delete now. But when you're in a group and you're first meeting someone, I had different groups growing up in high school and college and in my 30s. And it's funny. I never really brought all the groups together, because when I did, it was like chaos, because everyone was so set in their group
Mm.
form that like it just created inconsistency.
Yeah, I
So I
get.
think I think we all go through that, right? Where you're, it's a new job, or it's a new friend group, and you're kind of feeling it out, and you are walking along the eggshells,
Mm.
or you're kind
So let's talk about that scenario. So you have a friend, and they are asking you for things, for help. Um, to they switch times a lot. Um, and you do it at the beginning, but then it becomes more and more and more. Like they call you in the evening for the next morning at 8 o'clock. Can you bring me to the doctor? And you realize after a while there is less and less respect of your time and your value, and more just demanding and just expecting. Did you ever come in that situation, or had somebody where you experienced that with a friend, that they had to go through that?
It's funny that you say that, because yes, when I was younger, and I hadn't experienced it for a very long time because I don't put myself in those situations. But when you're first meeting someone, like you said, and then it starts to continue, I made a friend in my old building about 3 years ago when I first moved to Florida. Again, you're just getting to know people. So I'm, feeling everybody out. And she's Jewish. So we had, the Jewish connection, Jewish sisters kind of, stick together, hang together. She lived on my floor. And, she asked me for a favor one day, and I said, okay, fine, no problem. Then she got, like, a few days later, she got sick, and she was asking me to drop off COVID tests for her and bring her soup and all these things. Okay. Then it was like 2 days later, it was, oh, can you watch my dog? And it turned, like, in a 2 week period, for someone I had just met and I didn't really know that well. I was like, wow, I don't even know if I'd ask my cousin this, It's like, so I think that she felt, because I am very friendly and I'm very bubbly, people kind of see that as, oh, I can ask her, whatever, but they don't understand that you can't push me, because once you push the tourist, party's over, right? So I said something to her, and I'm not going to say her name, I almost just did. And she got very defensive. I mean, extremely defensive. And I said, listen, girl, that's cool. No problem. We don't really know each other. It's not like we've been friends forever. Um, you know, uh, oh, as you would say, okay, goody. And that was it. And I kind of just, and when I'd see her in the hallway, I would just say, hey, how are you? And then that would be it. But I don't allow that into my energy and into my space. But it is interesting that I hadn't encountered that in years, and then I did. So it's about, like we did on the last episode, knowing your own boundaries, setting them, being nice, but not too nice. Um, because being too nice, unfortunately, it's like the Billy Joel song, only the good die young.
Oh,
So, you know,
I think being too nice, like being nice is beautiful.
oh, of course, be nice,
Be
be lovely, be
right.
warm.
Being too nice, I think, has the taste that you're nicer than you want to be. You do things you really don't want to do. You perhaps say things you really don't want to say. If you're in a group and you don't feel you belong to the group yet, and you want to fit into the group, you say things, you compliment things.
Sure, I'll drive you to the airport an hour and a half away. I just met this girl last night. What was I thinking?
Yeah, things like that. How about your family? Like, I don't think in your own family, because you shared with me, you're pretty straightforward, honest, with love and respect and appreciation. But perhaps you experienced that before you had this.
No, I still have that with my family. I think that and now my brother, because he moved here, and he's really big on boundaries and setting boundaries. And so, when there's another family member, it puts something to the dynamic. But I think that we're all very vocal about what our boundaries are. And sometimes, because we're related, we ask each other. Like my mom said to me the other day, do you know how many times Oliver's been here this week and I've been helping with him? And I said, oh, okay. She's not telling me she's not going to do it. She's just reminding me, like, all right, just chill out a little bit. That was her way of saying it. Or when as soon as
He
I walk in
doesn't
the door,
want to see the grandson.
no, she does, but I drop him on the doorstep a lot. Or as soon as I walk in, Dad, I love you, but he'll say to me, I need help with this. Like before I even put my purse down, because there are different generations, so they need help with with technology, which I'm not the best at, but the things that they need I can do. And it's like, hold on, my purse is like still in my hand. I didn't even take a sip of the water yet. So I think that families have to have them as well, because you can be very close. With your family. They're my best friends, my parents and my brother. But that also leads to family members taking a little advantage of each other at times because they know your family and they'll do whatever you ask.
So what's the secret of, I know you have a very loving family and you're really supportive and respectful to each other. What's the secret? Because I met
Well,
your
the
dad
secret
and I know
is
you, and you have a pretty
the
um
secret is, believe it or not, fighting is good. It's like when you're in a couple with someone and they say to me, "Oh, we haven't had a fight in 4 years. I'm like, no, something's wrong. Fighting is good. Getting things out. When I say fighting, I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about getting your emotions out, saying how you feel, and not having a buildup and then an explosion. And because we all have such big personalities,
right.
everyone is just telling exactly how they feel in an exact moment. So there's never like, ooh, what's happening here? No, everybody knows what everybody's thinking and feeling. So I think that the secret is, and this is in life, period, not just with family, this is work, this is with friends, be as honest as you can be in that moment. Be respectful about it, because sometimes we can come off and
Yeah,
then we say the words and we go, oh,
yeah,
I didn't. It's the
right.
delivery, right? Make sure your delivery is respectful and honest, and the voice level is, because sometimes I can we can all raise our voices, and and like you said, it is nice to be nice and loving and caring, but you also have to be strong, because my dad always told me growing up, only the strong survive. And it's a tough message, but it's a real message. You have to be strong in life. That doesn't mean overly aggressive, that doesn't mean a bulldog. It just means you have to show your strength so that people don't take advantage of you and you're not seen as being too nice all
Yeah,
the time.
stand up for yourself, right?
100%.
Yeah. I saved the best for the end, Chloe. How about dating? Being too nice when you date somebody because
Well,
you
as you know
want
my
to
story.
be loved, or
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of long-term relationships. I'm currently in an 8-year one that's feels like 2 decades with someone who's younger than me, and there is a lot of mutual love and respect there. But you know, he's probably going to be listening to this at some point because he listens to all of these. But that's okay, because I'm very honest and open with him. I will say sometimes my boundaries, even after 5, 6, 7, 8 years, because if I'm being too nice and I'm always anything you ask of me, I'm doing, and I don't think of myself as well, then in dating it's tough, because in the beginning you want to um, be vulnerable and give yourself to somebody, but you also don't want to be taken advantage of down the road. So in a couple of years down the line, it's like no matter what, this person's there for me. But I will say that my partner is very, if I ask him of something, he does it. He's very reliable, extremely reliable, and that I love. But dating, especially today, it's very tough for younger people, because men and women have a lot of access to different dating websites, and then they meet people on Instagram and Facebook and the DMs. And I want to see more men, and it's a known thing, men just love having a lot of choices. I can go to Kilwins or Haagen-Dazs once a week and I'm probably going to get mint chocolate chip, or I'm going to get, cookies and cream. And those are my two flavors. A guy walks in to the ice cream shop. He's like, I want to try cotton candy this week. I want to try vanilla next week. I want to have pistachio on Thursday, because men are men and they like flavor. So I think in dating, just set your boundaries, be nice and loving and sweet, but also make sure that you're strong and that you're very consistent in your behavior up front in the beginning, and show exactly who you are. Because as Maya Angelou said, when
so.
people show you who they are the first time, believe them.
Yeah, without a question. Just had another thought. Do we have time for another thought? Yeah. Okay. So,
Bring on we have time
so
for one more before he
yeah,
knocks the door
topic,
out, because his timing is impeccable.
right. So the topic, why being too nice doesn't help you in dating. How about situations where you really want to find somebody? You're eager to find somebody, you feel alone and lonely. I think that increases the challenge of being too nice and fitting in and presenting yourself in a light where you realize your date sees that as pleasing, but then later on, when your true self is coming out, then the risk is there that you still have to hold being being too nice, right? Because then you feel like not seen, not heard, or not loved. Did you ever
Absolutely. And I
experience
think,
that, or seeing a friend?
oh yeah, I have so many, I have plenty of friends that will, they'll go out to dinner and they'll say, "Oh, he ordered the tuna. You hate seafood." I know, but I just did it. Or he made me go to a baseball game, but you love basketball. I think it is important to definitely be open to new things when you're dating someone, but you have to stay true to who you are. It's like there's so many books and movies where in the beginning, a girl acts one way because she wants to get the guy. And then halfway through the book, page 150 or an hour into the movie, it all falls apart. There's this great movie with Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson. It's about 15 years old, maybe 20 at this point. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So she does the opposite. She does everything guys hate. She acts crazy. She shows up at his office. She comes over drunk. And he's like, "Oh my God, I love this girl. She's showing me who she is. She's showing me all of her. She's being vulnerable." Meanwhile, she's doing it because she's trying to win a bet at work, and she's going, "Oh my God, I'm doing the opposite." And like, he's so into this. So I think it's really important. And men too. I think that men in the beginning sometimes pretend that they're more successful than they are, that, they're so macho and they're all these things. And then the layers peel back and you're like, hold on a minute. He still lives with his mother. He told me he had a condo. Just be true to who you are in the beginning and show exactly who you are up front, because I've always done that, and I'm not for everybody, and that's fine. I've had guys in the past be like, "Wow, you're really just tell it like it is," and I'm like, "If you can't handle it, bye. The door's right there." But I'll just show you me right now, because some men like very passive women, women that are quiet, women that laugh at all their jokes, and I think that the guys that are really secure with themselves want a woman who's strong and independent. Men are scared of independent women, big time. So I think that when it comes to dating, it's very important to be your natural, authentic self. And if he or she doesn't like you, guess what? That's okay, because rejection is part of life.
Yeah, and there's Oliver. He confirms it.
He cannot be rejected at any time because he's very independent. But with me, it's like, Mom.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, Chloe. I think going through all these scenarios was really helpful to understand what to think of, what to look for, and how to approach it. So if somebody is listening to this podcast and has like aha moments or feels, wow, that's me, and they want to change it, I know you have a coaching offer available on our website. The best way, would it be to contact you directly, or do you want them to go to our website on Problem Solver and check out your coaching over there, or text you on Instagram?
So thank you for plugging me. I love you for that. Hello, men and women. It's men also, because men, I have a lot of great advice for you. I've had a lot of serious boyfriends, and I've been dating since I was 17. So I'm not, I won't give my age, but I'm available to speak on these topics and in business and in not being too nice and really making sure that you are consistent within business and how to grow your business, all these topics we're speaking tonight. So thank you, Dagmar, for that. They can go to our website, ProblemSolvHer.com, and they can hit on the button up for my coaching offerings, ask me questions, email me. You can DM me on Instagram at ProblemSolvHer is our handle as well. And I have offerings open in mid-August. So I'd love to hear from you all. Again, men and women of all ages. Grandma, if you're out there, I'm available too. Maybe maybe the family's driving her crazy and she needs a little session on how to get back on track.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Chloe. I will place the link for your coaching offer on the YouTube description and also on the podcast notes. Beautiful. So everybody can check it out there and then reach out, and then Chloe will contact you directly.
Thank you so much for that, Dagmar. I love you. And we are, as we say in Florida, the thick of it in this summer heat. The oven's just preheating, okay? It's only on 250. I haven't even put in, the brisket. It's a hot one out there. So stay safe, everybody, and drink lots of liquids.
Yeah.
Shout now.
Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you.
Love you. Bye. Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.